Hello friends and welcome to Thea, the Awakening, Return of the Giants. I really wish I had discovered this game earlier, because it is exactly my jam. I think of it as really like an RPG set on a Civ 5 hex-based world map, with crafting, survival, resource management, and combat elements, tactical card game elements for the combat, which is super interesting. As you can see here, I have only unlocked the first 3 gods, so I'm super new at the game. With Veles here, the first starting hero, I've only got the first 3 bonuses equipped. We're going to play difficult. Village focus, warriors, yeah, fine. This is going to be tough, and I'm not very experienced, but if I know my viewers, you guys want to see me fail, to see me suffer, so let's do a bit of that. We'll do the best we can. There's a lot of reading to be done in the game, because a lot of backstory is through the reading and some decent voiceover work. I think I'm going to listen to all of it. I really want to try and get into the story behind the game and the lore and really immerse myself in it and not just have it be a resource grind, which can be fun. Let's try to focus on the story. So, Veles. Veles, the keeper of the underworld, master of mystical powers and guardian of souls. That was your name before the great darkness. Now, you are simply Veles, a lost god trying to reclaim his might. The gates to the afterlife are slammed shut. Souls of the dead roam Thea and wreak havoc among the living. All you can do for now is continue to guide your ragged group of followers towards survival. One last thing before we start. The mythology is, like, it's Slavic based, I think is the correct term. So there's a lot of Polish or Czech sounding names, which, given my South African accent, I'm really going to struggle with, so apologies ahead of time for those of you who know how to pronounce these names properly. I will be butchering them, but I'll be doing my best, so let's get into it. See what kind of map seed we get. The maps are procedural, if you don't know, so generally you tend to start with a food source and a wood source in your village, and sometimes you'll get a third resource right underneath your village.
Welcome. No time to waste. You are a deity of the High Pantheon, and you must help your worshippers survive the darkness. So what now, you ask? You are divine, yes, but you have little power, and so you will know the world through your people's eyes. This means sometimes you will encounter your own divine messengers, and maybe even face your own avatars. Weird, I know. Your first mission is to survive. Every critter is trying to make sure you stay down. So get food and craft better equipment to protect yourselves. You will guide your people to victory, either by sheer survival and progress, or by solving the cosmic tree's mystery.
So we will not be doing the tutorial, because there's a lot of talking from Theodore. I'm a deity, you know. I already know these things and don't need to talk. Skip the tutorial.
Alright. Now are you absolutely sure?
Yes, fine. Craft 10 food. Totally fine. Let's take a look at our map. Are you kidding me? What? We're starting with vines and cane on our village. That's... What? That is, like, implausibly lucky. So the reason that is so fortunate is because your gathering skills of your villagers, other than the gatherers, aren't that great to begin with, and very often you'll struggle to get either wicker or cane in hand to make good baskets. You need the baskets to improve your gathering skill. If you combine spider silk and a wicker, you get, I think, +4 to gathering. But seeing as, and normally that's what I'd go for first of all, but seeing as though we actually unbelievably spawned on vines and cane, that's what we're going to be unlocking, it's what we're going to be researching. Wow, that's unbelievable. It's a little bit complicated though, because to start we don't actually have great gathering skills, so even getting it in hand is going to be a little bit challenging. So I'm just going to first and foremost, actually, you know what? I'm going to amalgamate you guys into the village. And that way we can just consolidate everything. We can take a look at who's got what type of skills and decide who's going to be in the expedition and who's going to stay in the village. So Vladimir, who's our medic, has got 1 in herbalism, 8 in speech, and only 1 in gathering, 4 in medic, which are the most salient skills for a medic class. Malavid is a witch sage, but he's got better medic than our medic. He's got better gathering as well. Okay, so he will be our medic for the purposes of being in the expedition. Just unequip all the weapons and armor, because we're just going to be rating all the warriors, and then the least dangerous, or the least effective warrior will stay in the village to guard and help with the crafting. These crafters will obviously stay in the village and do all the crafting, and then we'll take one or maybe both gatherers with us. But considering the fact that we've spawned on top of vines and cane, I want to leave both gatherers. Right, let's start with, let's just give everybody their gear first. So we're going to pick who are the, let's rate the warriors. We've got Mesamir here, he's a level 3, 12 hit points. Level 3, 12 hit points. Level 3, 11 hit points. Okay, so Svatava is going to be staying back and guarding the village. Although honestly, to start, I kind of feel like, yeah, I'm going to need to take all 3 warriors. Okay, scratch that. Mesamir, what kind of damage can you do with that spear? Not bad, actually. We don't have a two-handed weapon, which I would have preferred. Okay, then Snovit and Svatana are going to be using swords and shields to keep themselves safe. 5 and 7, that's pretty damn good. Plus dexterity. Good quality on the Bramblewood Club, but only 2 damage, which is just so bad. 2 to 3 armor and shielding, 3 to 5 armor and shielding, 4 to 5, that's better. It's the best one-handed weapon, yeah. I think, oh yeah, the sharp hip is probably the best. Definitely the best. Okay, then my gatherers. Oh, hang on, one other thing though. Whoopsie, I accidentally created him, and I think the music is a touch loud. Okay, Malavid. Ooh, Thorny Warhammer. Okay, forget that then. Mesamir, you're going to use that Warhammer. Blunt damage is amazing, as we shall see. I do want someone to use the short pike though. Malavid, 12 hit points. That's actually not bad. I'll tell you what, you can use the short pike. I'm going to leave... God, I think I'm going to leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the village. Let's take a look and see. We can only gather vegetables for now though. Once we've unlocked the others... Can you do 1 per day? Zofia can. So I'll tell you what, we'll leave just Zofia. She can keep getting food. I mean, the other gatherers are going to have to actually go outside of the village to go get wood for us, which we're going to need. Just in the short term. First things first, let's choose, let's put together an expedition. Our best 3 fighters, plus our medic. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to take the 2 gatherers. I think I'm going to send the 2 gatherers out to go get wood, because in the early game I'm going to need loads of wood. And I'll leave both of the crafters here, because we're going to be crafting like mad in the beginning, whatever we can. Because crafting is what drives your technology. So we're going to take just these 4 on the expedition. And this also means that... Where's our warrior? He doesn't have a shield. Mesamir, you use that. Yeah, that's extra bit of armor from that ring. We need to give them wood. See, the wood's going to be a problem to start. 4 of us, so we'll take out, let's say 80 food, which is 20 days worth of food. And there's 4 of us there, so we'll take out 4 children. The children will mature as we're out in the field, and we can assign them to roles. We'll leave just the 1 child here in the village, because most of the people are staying in the village. With the food types, I've gotten into the habit of including as many of the different food types as I can. Because you get bonuses based on how many different food types. That needs to be 72 then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2. We're going to have to go gather some food wood once we're out in the field. These items are all for the people who are going to stay in the village, and then the resources we get from doing these ruins we will use to keep the expedition going. Hopefully for as long as we can. Do some exploring, get some resources.
You stumble across some ruins of an old city. You
search the ruins, fight what's in there. So just for this first bat, I will not auto-resolve, just because I want to show you guys how the combat works. Now, we're playing difficult. When you play normal, you are able to reshuffle your cards before the game starts. And obviously, look, you've got your combat fighters and your essentially non-frontline guys. So we can play one card this turn. There's a preparation phase, and then there's a combat phase. So we'll start by putting Svatana down. So the cards act after the few preparation phases in the combat phase from left to right. So think of the preparation phase as just arguing between yourselves and the enemy over who gets to go first. So piercing damage, slash damage, tends to do the most damage to single targets, but the damage doesn't carry over. So if I killed this bat, I would essentially be wasting 12 damage. So I want to get Mesimir, my blunt damage guy, in as soon as I can. He does blunt damage. However, Malavid has piercing damage. So card dealing piercing damage is placed in front of the last card and deals half its piercing damage, so 6 here, without additional effects to it. But only when the last card is an opponent's card. So if I play Malavid now, he straight up kills that bat as he enters the battlefield. Svatana will kill this one, and then Malavid will attack the next one. So now, my tactical guys, they can either shield allies, or they can confuse allies, which puts them to the back of the end, to the end of the turn order. But I'm just going to use Get Closer on Mesimir. You'll see he's got question marks, so that means he won't take part in the first fight phase, but that's fine. There's only this one bat ahead of him, and that'll get killed. So I can either shield the last enemy, but given how many there are going to be played here, let's just use Get Closer on Snovit as well. And that's it. The cool thing you'll see about the blunt damage is that he's got 16 plus 3 damage, so he'll kill that enemy for 4 damage, and then the remainder of the damage will go over onto the next enemy. Ouchie. Snovit's armor was holding firm there though, so it all just resolves now. So eventually I want all my warriors to be in super heavy armor using two-handed warhammers. In my experience, it's very, very, very expedient or effective to do it that way, because you're going to be fighting a lot of small... What? We got clay! This is crazy what a good map this is. So clay is good because we're going to, once we can use clay, we're going to harvest it and use that to build our buildings. So the materials you use to build your buildings determines the bonuses you get and how effective those buildings are. I'm just a bit taken aback by how good this map is. Like, I mean, wow. Well, a bit of good fortune. We've got 23 days worth of food and no wood. We might actually just stop there and chop some wood. What kind of sucks is I'm going to have to actually make a second expedition just from the village just to go get more wood. I might even have to send everybody, just because if I leave anyone inside the village without any wood, they will eventually take damage because they need wood, 1 wood per day to keep themselves warm. Okay, here's what we do. We leave Zofia here picking vegetables. She'll get 1 load of vegetables per day. And then we'll send the rest of the team out as another expedition just to go chop wood. Because in the early game you just need to stabilize your economy by getting as much wood and food as you can. Crappy training sword. We just have nothing really. What can we craft here? We can't craft crafting tools or gathering tools. I'd like to get some meals going, but we can't. We just really need to go get some wood. I'll send them out without wood because we're going to be getting our own wood. Let's see, so we will just leave, let's say, 10 days worth of meat or a week's worth of meat in the village. A little bit more because I'll leave 1 resource type. Like that. Take some herbs. Okay, so she can survive for 2 days without wood. But that's not the end of the world because we're going to get our hands on some wood pretty much right now. Make camp. Go into gathering mode. Damn, it's going to take 4 days before we can even get any wood. 3 days. We only get 6 of it. Not good. What's the gathering skill like here? It's pretty terrible. Only 3 gathering here on Malavid. Well, there's nothing much we can do about that. I need to spend my technology. I'm going to go straight for a watchtower, even though I'm not going to build it immediately. Then I'll go for a barracks. Barracks is the first thing we'll build. I just want the barracks on the field, because as the children grow up, if you want to make them warriors, if you have the barracks, you get extra skill points and they're way more effective. It also gives damage, extra damage to people who are defending the village. We'll do these two first. Then maybe the smithy, or we'll... I think, actually, you know what, we'll do just these two. Then we will unlock just one-handed swords, because we're going to be getting our hands on some steel and some decent wood from raiding around the area. And then we'll deposit that in the city, in the village that is, and our crafters will turn it into swords, which is good for the guys who are going out raiding, and it gives us more technology, which accelerates everything. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 and 5. It's going to be our first 5 points we're going to spend. With the expedition, I'm just looking for ruins because I want to do these little fights. They're fairly easy, and they get us some resources. Hulking rats, deformed rats. I'll just auto-resolve.
And discover a supplies store still intact.
Take it and leave. What kind of a club is that? Let's take a look-see. Bramblewood Club, 3 damage, 1 poison. This is pretty damn good. 7 damage, 6 shielding. And our warriors can use 2-handed weapons in a 1-handed slot. That's 16 damage, which carries over. 15 damage. What's for Tava? We can actually give you this sword. It's a little bit less damage, but it gives you shielding. What do we have here? Loads of wood, just not near the city. This is the first game I've played where I don't have a wood source on the village. It's going to be more difficult for us in the short term because we're going to struggle to get wood. But I mean, once we get the wood stabilized, we'll really just have a few gatherers who just stay there and gather, you know, food and wood all the time. And then if enemies come, they'll run back to the village. But once we get the village stabilized and we start cranking out these gathering tools with cane and vine, it's going to exponentially increase our ability to gather. It's just going to be tough getting there. Much like XCOM, the game has an inverse difficulty curve for most of the game.
You search the buildings and discover a supplies store
Good
still
food,
intact.
crafting materials, and a little... Take the stuff and leave. What does that give us? Gathering. Okay, good. So... I could go drop it off at our expedition. Or I could stop here and get some wooden food myself. What is that? That is dark wood. Now, I'm going to drop it off for the other expedition because this expedition's job is to loot buildings and get resources that way. Kill enemies, you know, do whatever you can to get your hands on resources. We have there a witch and some rats. Attractiveness, none of this is gathering. What I desperately need in the early game is gathering. Crafting is nice though. Some folklore. How are you guys doing? Okay, you got 8 days worth of wood. Actually need to go back into the city, I think. We've got some coal which can keep her warm for a little bit. You can see the food stores going up. Although our expeditions are actually we're actually fine for wood, for food for the most part. It's wood that's the problem. That spiked club I don't think is going to be worth keeping. Only 3 damage. But you know what, we're going to be having kids that are going to grow up, so we're going to need to hang on to these weapons in the beginning at least. Nice. Plenty of food. Nice. More ruins. Good. That's good. The food.
You stumble across, you open.
The way the kids work in the game is such a cool mechanic, I think. Yeah, you can get more or less kids through various events, and then they grow up and you turn them into villagers. It's so cool. A skeleton and a hulking rat, that's fine, auto-resolve that. Mesomere took some hits, that hurts. In the screen here, if you know something's junk and you're not going to use it, you can just click like that to break it down for its constituent parts right in the beginning. That little wooden sword is obviously rubbish. What have we got here? Darkwood, okay, good. More vines. More clay. So if you put a party down on 1 hex, you can gather in a hex all around you here. We're going to be going for clay fairly early as well. The initial buildings will be built just with wood because it's the most abundant early game item. But then we'll be building everything with clay, I think. Which is pretty cool, because if you have a bunch of clay, the clay attracts animals. Now this way we can pass things between the expeditions. We've got Expedition 2. We're just getting some wood. We'll leave, what, 3 days of wood with Expedition 2? Because I'm pretty sure that's how long they take. They take 2 days to get wood. The food is ticking down though. Expedition 1, go back to the village, go drop off the crafting items. And that bit of wood. Let's see, we'll leave ourselves with 10 days worth, I should think. Or 2 days worth. Yeah, because Expedition 2 can always pop over and give more wood to them. That 25 granite is great. I might actually turn that, or quartz, excuse me. I might turn that into a pasture, which generates meat every turn. And also serves to attract... Ooh, warm and filling, nice. As I was saying, it serves to attract humans to your settlement, so you get free people to help you. What do we have here? I think once we get our hands on some dark wood, I'll turn the steel plus dark wood into a crafting tool. Yeah, but we have enough here to make our first pasture. Okay, Expedition 1, get back out there. Expedition 2, I need to actually split them up, and I'm going to send... Let's see, Yasna, who is a good crafter. In fact, probably both the crafters. There's no need for both of these crafters to be gathering. I think there's probably enough for them to be crafting sundry items in the village. Just whatever they can. Yep, that's fine. Just got to be careful. Yeah, Expedition 2 is very, very vulnerable, so if they get attacked by anyone, they will be running away. Okay, crafting. What can we do here? No gathering tools or craft tools yet, but I'm pretty sure we can build a pasture. So if I use the quartz as opposed to sandstone or wood, I don't have enough wood anyway. Jeez, actually, hang on. +2 food, +2 attract human. Using the steel seems like a bit of a waste. I could just use regular old wood. But I do want to get it going, and we're going to get more steel. And it'll help us with a food problem. You know what? What the hell, go for it. Any clothes you can make. I just want to be able to create clothing that is going to give us tech points. I mean, it's not a particularly great piece of armor, but hell, as long as it's giving us tech points, that's going to help us unlock more things. Once the wood gets low in the village, the Expedition 2 will have to pop into the village to go deliver some more wood. Just a couple of skeletons. Auto-resolve. Okay, not too badly wounded. That's a rubbish club. We'll just break that down. Hang on to the little shield. What do we have there? Mushrooms, it looks like. Yep.
Thea is not an easy
Good.
place
Our
to
first
grow
child
up,
grew up.
But alas, grow up we must. One of your children has matured into a young adult and is ready to join your village and rebuild Thea.
Proud gatherers.
Becoming an adult is an important rite of passage.
Celebrate the growing up. Well done. Okay, so Bogadara. Let's take a look at you. Actually, you know what? I've left all the children with Expedition 1, but Expedition 1 is just running around the map killing stuff. So maybe Bogadara, your gathering then isn't really being used there. And we need 2 gatherers in the village. I'll tell you what, Bogadara, I'm going to send you to Expedition 2 with some of the children. We'll leave 1 child with Expedition 1 who can grow up into a warrior. I think I want 4 warriors. The other 2 can become gatherers. I don't see too much value in having Bogadara run around with Expedition 1. We're not going to be stationary, actually creating anything for any length of time. I don't think it's all that worth it. Okay, take the Pavis and the poisoned axe. So if that gives just gathering, you might as well have that as well. 6 gathering, that's not bad. New expedition, Bogodara. She only needs enough wood, and I think 2 days of wood will be fine. Just enough to get her to the other expedition. Take some mushrooms with you. And take 2 of the children with you. In fact, you might as well take... Yeah, that's going to go for crafting. That's going to go for crafting. Expedition 3. Let's hope she doesn't get attacked by herself. I mean, that's the risk I'm taking here. And it's perennially going to be a risk for this playthrough because it's just so odd that I don't have access to food and wood right on my village. It's pretty uncommon. So I'm going to be having a lot of decentralized gathering with just, parties just gathering in the shade of the village.
It is time for the Night of the Goat, a feast in honor and reverence of the ancestors and forefathers, the so-called Zeadi. You
Begin the celebrations.
Food and drink, set bonfires in a circle, and begin festivities. But this night, the Zeadi actually appear before you. One, an elder bearded man, speaks with a heavy, coarse voice. You have done us proud, grandchildren. Now we shall cleanse you of any curses you carry, and if your souls are ever burdened by the filth of dark magic, come to a city we once called home and seek us out, and if you prove yourselves worthy, you may be cleansed once more. The Zeadi all nod in agreement, then disappear.
Nice. So if we ever get curses cast on us, we can go to those old men and they will take it away for us. Later on we'll get access to a healer's hut, which, would you believe, provides healing when you need it. More vines. Wow, more vines than we can shake a stick at on this map. Herbs. Wheat. Nice. Simple bits of armor being built. Ostoya, you've got no wood. Okay, one of you guys is going to have to go back and go drop off some wood. Vladimir will go drop off some wood. Let's take a look at the gathering speeds. At Bogodara, yes, you can do almost 1 load of wood per day. Veroslava. We don't even need the fruit, we just desperately need loads of wood. Okay, so new expedition, Vladimir. We'll leave expedition 2 with only 2 days worth of wood, because they're obviously going to be chopping more. And we'll leave the children in the village. Drop off some mushrooms there as well for the extra food type bonus. Bam, that solved the wood problem. Although really, Vladimir, you can't actually gather anything yet until we can start gathering the cane and the what's it called again? The vines. There's no point in you being in the village. Well, I'll tell you what, on the next day he can just head off back to the expedition. Let's keep exploring here. Damn this darkness. Not finding anything. It's an issue. Okay, Vladimir. It's not so much in the equipment that you really need to take along, but I think this will be most useful out in the field. Gives +1 speech, gives +1 stealth. So it seems to be that when you create items with amber, it gives you a random bonus with it. Interesting. Worth remembering. Okay, so there's 3 children left. I want 1 more warrior. Do we have a child here? Okay, so the child that is with Expedition 1 will be a warrior, and these 3 that are in the village are all going to be gatherers. What was I doing? I was making a new expedition. I was going to go send Vladimir back to Expedition 2. Okay, good. Enemy spotted. What is that? Just some spiders. That's, you know, not that dangerous at all. Let's take a look at the equipment. Yeah, we got a couple people with weapons. We'll be fine. So, Z-Rad, can you craft some food for us? We've got mushrooms, we've got... I don't want to use that. No, you can't craft some food for us. You craft anything at all, not particularly. You can help, though. Not that it's needed. I really need gathering gear. Well, which we'll get soon. I think now the next few tech points we take will be the vines and the cane. Whoopsie, ended a turn there without moving Expedition 1. Who's low on food? Expedition 2 is low on food. But they will be getting more on the next day, so that's fine then. I've got to be crafting things. Crafting and constructing. We've got a fair amount of leather, so I can maybe actually using a tier 2 gem seems like a bit of a waste. Let's go with leather, and string, and that gives only 1 tech point, but better than nothing. Okay, spiders attacking the village. Let's actually do the combat manually. I want to see how our guys do. Probably not all that well, but the fact that we've got this mace here means we should be just fine. You'll notice how these guys who aren't normally fighters tend to have higher support abilities like first action, shield, ally. So first action 7 means they can give an enemy who has level 7 or higher the first action in combat. I don't think that's worth it. The damage here is fairly low, and let's just get some bodies into the battle, really. Kill these stupid spiders. It's the beauty of a blunt weapon. Work. Okay, good. That was easy enough. So similar battles in future, we can just auto-resolve. And we got ourselves a little shield out of that.
A small group of travelers passes by your village. You exchange basic supplies and talk. Because of your kindness, they tell you of a herbalist living in a solitary hut out in the wilderness. They say she can cure any poison and even heal wounds, for a price, of course. They give you a map to the herbalist's hut and depart on their journey.
Thank you. That's the herbalist I was talking about. Could come in useful later. Who can I give this to? Which of you is like a half decent fighter? None of you really, but better than nothing. Production and crafting. Is there really nothing better that you can do for us? We got loads of food at least. I wonder if I shouldn't send Sophia out to Expedition 2 to help with the wood gathering. It's probably worth it. We've got enough food that we can survive on the food here for like a few months. Just leave the crafters in the village. The village has, yeah, almost 2 weeks of food and 2 months, two months worth of food, 2 weeks worth of wood. So, to be able to do that once per day, we've got to get, let's see, that up to 70. Good, so that's 1 load of wood per day. Zofia by herself can get 1 load of wood per day, and then we can leave Verislava to get food every second day for us. Good. So our wood stores are going to stack up pretty damn quick. We've got 34 there. How much do I need to build the barracks? As soon as I have enough to build the barracks, we will grab it. Go back and build it. We would need 65, 75. We've got 12 there in the village. And we've got 34. So 46. So we need that to be up to, I'd say, about 50. Keep an eye on that. Okay, a little shield and a spear, which gives piercing damage, and that one's made out of dark wood, so it's poisonous. 3 damage as opposed to 6 damage. I think I prefer the 6 damage from the pike. I need more of these kids to grow up. Walking stick. Just a very rubbish damage pike. I need to keep exploring in increasingly larger circles so I can get the radius around the village up. Let's go east, I think. Who's not working? Neither of the crafters are working. But that's not surprising. They don't actually have anything that they can craft. You can do one more of those little jackets. Can't do anything else. Ooh, some coal. I'm a little unsure about what coal's use is. I mean, I know you burn it as you would with wood. But I mean, if you've already got so much wood, then what's the point of even having the coal on the map, you know? Okay, so that's off onto a landmass. Let's head down here now. 56 wood. Let's send someone back. Who's got the weakest gathering? Vladimir. We'll just leave Expedition 1 with 1 bit of wood. Actually, he's going to be coming back with loads of food, but we'll just drop off some berries there for the village. Hello, hello. That's what we're looking for. Auto resolve. Oh wow, okay, Mesimir got messed up. Surprising. We'll just camp there a bit, because when you camp you treat wounds better. Vladimir, go and take loads of food back with us. So, what more can we craft now based on what's been brought back to us? Nothing really. We could do the watchtower. But honestly, if you make it just out of wood, it's not even worth building. We need 65, 75. So we are almost ready to build the barracks. Actually, on the next day we'll have enough wood because we're gathering 12 wood per day here. +6, +6, yep. We've just got to end the turn and hope that our wounded soldier doesn't die.
You go down to the fields to check if any crops survived this night, and you discover a large molehill on your way. A peculiar-looking mole carrying a small shovel pops up from the hill and exclaims, "Ahoy!" It seems really happy.
Cool. Hi there?
The mole does not respond. It just stares at you, especially at your clothes for some reason.
Well, just wave at it. Hi, mole.
The mole waves back, exclaims, "Ahoy!" once more, and then disappears into the molehill. But it leaves behind
nice of
a
you,
small
Mr.
bundle
Mole.
for you.
Leaves behind, like, you use it as a necklace and increases your perception. So nice. Left some presents. Friendly mole. So we've got 2 broken skeletons and 1 unliving corpse. I might have to actually attack them. Because if they hit the village, the guys in the village won't be able to defend themselves. In any event, as it happens, I do need to leave a gatherer back in the village now. So that's actually convenient for us. This won't be the easiest fight. Which damage do we have here? Oh, that's quite fortunate. So exactly the 2 that I needed to be on the fighting side are on the fighting side. That unliving corpse is quite tough, but doesn't do much damage. And let's see, we got 12, 14 damage and 16 hit points there. I can't support hero. I can give her some shielding though. These two are going to have to be enough. Well, you know what? Get in there, Zofia. We've only got 10 hit points, but these skeletons do very little damage. Good, skeleton down. Ouchie, still not through his armor yet. Oh, almost through the armor. Yeah, just a zombie now. Get him, lads. Poke him with your kebab stick. Good, so I think we got through all of this without taking any hit points damage. So even though we had, oh nice, a bow, even if it's a crude one. Sweet. So the bow is so great because you take a soldier who, even if you don't expect him to ever really be on the front lines attacking, he has range damage, which gives him an ability called Support Ally. Oh god, one bit of weight too much. I wonder, can you use a shield, carry the shield? Yes, okay, good. So he's never going to be in the front lines, but he can shield an ally and he can support them by giving them more damage. Sophia, let's see about a weapon for you. There you go. Let's get cracking with this vine. So we need one more research point so we can get going with our gathering. As it happens, I actually need to, let's see, probably gather some food here for this party. How wounded is Mesimir? He's got 4 out of 13. I reckon I'm just going to camp here and grab some food while he heals up. Some wood, maybe? But we don't have any gathering skills, so there's hardly any point in even attempting that. Let's just grab some. Let's camp for 3 days and get one load of food.
An unexpected visitor, Theodore, arrives at your village. Your food stocks have grown. Your people are learning how to live in the awakened Thea once more. But the darkness is not gone. Always looming in the shadows, lurking behind corners. It is time to try and find clues as to what happened and how to repair it.
Okay, how do we do it?
Ah, that's the spirit. I knew we could count on you. I must warn you, others have tried and failed before.
Do you know anything about what happened to the cosmic tree?
I know some, but I do not hold the answers you need to seek. I know that once Thea was a land ruled by high magic. A land where demons were kept in check by the peoples, and by the cosmic balance upheld by the gods. The pillars of Thea stood sturdy and held our world together. Now the barriers between the lands of the living and those of the dead are torn asunder, and thus darkness holds a tight grip on us. Without your aid, whatever made the sun return may not hold for long, and the age of darkness may descend upon us once again.
Alright, fine. So how do we find out what to do?
There have been those who sought to undo this curse, those who were charged with the guardianship of Thea's pillars, and who have failed us. Some were the ancient peoples you call elves. Some were avatars of your gods, and some just people who proved worthy. And yet they all failed thus far. Here, on this map, I marked a spot where one such guardian may hold answers for you. Without giving you a chance to say anything more.
Okay, take the map. So we need a fair few bits of research, but actually, Expedition 1, what are we carrying from a crafting point of view? Particularly, I'm looking for dark wood. No, we don't have very much. Don't have very much at all. 6 armor, 1 dexterity, 7 armor. 6 armor. Ooh, 5 and 5, a good quality buckler. That's good to know. Let's compare this. Actually, the Pavis is superior. There you go. Right. Also, I mustn't forget, I was given a quest to cook some food, which will give us some resource reward. So by all means, can I not do this yet? Yes, I can. Okay, excellent. We'll go veggies plus fruit plus wood. Bearing in mind I need 75 wood to create the barracks, which I want to do as soon as I can. We'll just do the one. Let's quickly allocate this wood to the barracks. There's no secondary items that I can use to do this with. Okay, I'll only give 1 damage bonus. Oh, that's not going to give any research point bonuses, but that's fine. Eventually we'll knock it down and rebuild it for the research benefit. I just want this done before all the children have grown up, because I think we've got 3 left. We'll do 2 more gatherers, and then that final one we can make a warrior who will benefit from the barracks, and all the subsequent children who grow up to be warriors will benefit from the barracks. I do wonder, is there a building which gives more skill points to your gatherers? Children growing up can choose the medic class. It doesn't look like it. Children growing up to be craftsmen receive more skill points. I never really need the skill points for craftsmen, though, I find. Okay, I think we've made a good start. Let's take a wee break, and when we come back, we'll try to get the remaining research we need to get our hands on this cane. Then we'll start cranking out gathering tools, which is going to ramp up everyone's gathering ability, which will make us craft more, which gets us more items unlocked, and it's just everything's just going to take off, hopefully. And then once we've stabilized our economy with some villages, with some decent weapons, we can start going after these story missions. These first few missions you can actually go after fairly early. They're quite simple, but I don't want to get sidetracked by the story missions. I just really want to stabilize our economy first. Alright, good little start. This has been Thea the Awakening. Veles on a difficult start. I'm Stobbie for 9. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.